Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tauschers Take for this week. I'm Lance Feaser alongside former Packers and Badgers great Mark Tauscher. All right, Mark, let's start by talking about the Packers. They were off last week. What are maybe you hoping to see as an improvement coming out of that bye week that you think they could really have worked on?
Well, I think when I've looked at this team so far, the inconsistent part has been the big plays on defense, and you haven't really seen a full game of offense being played efficiently. And you've seen halves that have been good. So trying to figure out that part of it. But defensively, you can't continue to give up these big plays that they have. And I think the running back situation, let's get this thing settled and figure out, okay, what's going to be, who's going to have what role. I think we see Ty Montgomery kind of emerging as that third down guy getting out in space. But Aaron Jones has shown good things, and everybody's been clamoring, why is he not playing more? Well, you saw a little bit of that on Monday night. He missed a couple blitzes, and you don't see him in the game. So those are kind of the things that I think you're looking at. The consistency has not been there through the first 6 weeks, and now you're looking, how can they improve on that?
General fan would say, all right, just put Aaron Jones in for running plays then. Can you be that simplistic, though, and really just give that type of a cue where it's like, we're never going to pass pro?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And I don't think you don't want to tell Aaron Jones, all right, this is all you can do. You want him to go out there, but he has to perform when he's called upon, because he is going to be in there predominantly when it's going to be run and play action. You want him in there because the play action is going to be that much more viable for the defense. Is going to be looking at, Aaron Jones is in. They're going to be looking at the same numbers that the Packers self-scout's going to be looking at. We run the ball a certain amount of times when he's in there. They're going to think that, and that gives you a chance to go over the top with the big plays. So the bottom line is you can do certain things and make it as simplistic as you can, but when you're out there playing, you have to be able to do what everybody is asking you to do. And Aaron Jones's running he's so explosive that you want to find a way to get him out on the field as much as you can. But you also have other guys you feel like you can put out there. But when called upon, you have to know your assignment. You have to execute it.
We haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks, so tell me, have all apprehension gone away about Mason Crosby for you?
After last game, sure, but I think you assume that Mason Crosby, he is a pro, and exactly what he did is what you're expecting him to do. So now you just assume, okay, he's going to continue on this trajectory. He said this was an anomaly. All right, he proved last week. Okay, he was able to go out and kick, and you've seen this with other kickers. Justin Tucker for the Ravens, who is probably renowned as the best kicker in the NFL, never misses an extra point in his life. He misses one to tie the football game up against New Orleans. So there's always going to be those things. It's always about trusting that you believe in the player. Mike McCarthy obviously does, his teammates do, and he delivered last week, so you assume he'll do it again.
All right, let's take a look at the schedule that's coming up here. They're going to go to the Rams, by the way, 8.5-point dogs, which is huge, the biggest we've seen in Aaron Rodgers' tenure. 4 of the next 5 are on the road. All 4 of those teams are legitimate playoff contenders. What's realistic here? I know you say they want to go 5-0. That's not realistic. So what was realistic?
Well, I mean, realistic is you look at the LA Rams. Nobody's going to expect them to win that football game. I think that can be a good thing. You can use that. New England's always tough. I think if you come out of here, you can't come out of here worse than 3-2. I think with where you're at with your schedule. I mean, if you go 2-3, you're going to say this was incredibly disappointing. It is a daunting schedule, and they have not proven up to this point that they're a very good road team. The road games that they've played, they have not won. So this is going to test this is going to be the defining part of their season, and whether or not this team's trajectory is on the upswing, which I think most of us hope it will be, or if they go 1-4, 2-3, that's what kind of football team this is after that. So we will see, but there's no question. I can't remember a more daunting schedule that the Packers have had in quite some time. When you look at the quality of teams on the road in a short period of time, this is going to be the big challenge.
How many wins do you think get this division? Is it 10? Is that the number?
Well, Minnesota's looked like they're starting to kind of reel it in. Everybody was jumping on the Bears bandwagon. And you know what? Slow down. Trubisky is playing okay. The defense, it was going to be, to me, it was always going to be Minnesota and Green Bay. I still think, 10 or 11 wins gets it done. But if you go 2-3 here, all of a sudden you got 5 losses and you can only win 10.
5
That's going to make it tough.
A tie, yeah. So that tie looms there, and that it's not a win, so that could obviously prove to be big down the stretch. All right, let's switch gears, talk a little bit about the Wisconsin Badgers. Obviously, they're coming off a win. They kind of got things righted a little bit. Mentioned some of the things that stood out to you. One of them, I know you said the defense really stood out to you in that game against Illinois, right?
It did. You see going up to Michigan, and I think with all of the injuries, the defense actually played really well. They did again this week. They gave up the one long run, but then you look at the rest of the game, the defense was able to create a short field for an offense that needed a kickstart. Everybody was, after that last game, everybody was down on Hornibrook in this offense, and they needed to feel like they were moving the football and doing some good things. So the defense stepped up, created those turnovers. A couple of T.J. Edwards, the read that he made, you could see he made that that was one this week, the week of studying the film. He saw it, he recognized it, and he went and made a play. Songapolu, just a great athletic play from a big fella. So when you can create those turnovers, it's really difficult for an opposing team to be able to do anything. So those things stood out to me. Creating that energy, because this was the first time in quite some time that when you have these great expectations and you go and you get beat like Wisconsin did at Michigan, it was a little bit flat, and then all of a sudden the snow comes, the turnovers come, and the energy picks up, and I think that was a great thing for this team.
We've talked about Alex Hornibrook a lot because everyone talks about the quarterback. Again, this week, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. It's good enough against Illinois, Rutgers, what have you. But is it good enough to get where they want to get?
It's a great question, and I think we saw in the Michigan game that it was not good enough. And then even this Illinois game, the interception before the half, those are things you just can't have happen. Interceptions, turnovers happen, but that was a decision that you just look at it and you're thinking, what are we looking at here? So when you're playing good teams and you're a little bit down on defense, you also have to complementary football. If you're playing against a team that you need to score much points on, you have to go do that. Northwestern is going to come in. They're going to throw the football all over the place. They are going to score probably more points than what is accustomed to a Wisconsin defense. That's why I think Wisconsin's offense needs to be much sharper than what it was last week.
Badger running game, is it kind of getting to that point now where maybe we expected it to be with this offensive line? Because they have 2 guys now that are putting up 100 yards a game.
I think they've really, much unlike Green Bay where the roles have not quite been determined, Groshek is going to be your third down guy, very versatile. You got Taiwan Deal to come in and spell JT whenever he needs it. And you got your bell cow. And I think it's interesting the dichotomy of that because, Green Bay feels like they have those same situations, but the roles haven't quite been carved out. But this run game, I think, is exactly what you expect it to be. I think coming into the season, you'd like to see some more explosive runs where you bust out. Taiwan Deal was able to do that a little bit late in the game, but you just keep wearing on people, and that helps your defense as well. And especially with the guys that they were missing some guys on defense, that's going to be critical this week.
All right, I got to let you talk Brewers, too, because you were at Game 7.
Expert, sure.
Baseball expert Mark Tauscher. I know you thought the big play of the game was that catch by Taylor. Is that where you were? You were in the stands. Did you feel it then?
Yeah, you just felt like, there's so much excitement in the entire place. And Yelich goes yard early, the Dodgers answer, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, everybody is thinking, let's just get back to Locaine and Yelich and Braun, and let's get this lineup turned and see what you can do. Kane gets on, gets the double. And Yelich does a great job with 2 strikes, ripping the ball, and the air, when he was able to track that ball down, make the great diving catch, the air kind of just popped out. And I don't think Milwaukee ever was able to recover.
As a Brewers fan, are you one of those waking up today saying, great, it's going to be the World Series next year, or, oh gosh, this might have been a once in a however many year opportunity?
I think from a fan standpoint, you look at it and you think, what a great season. The team was scheduled to win 82, 83 games. But as a player, you just know how hard it is to get to that point. And what it's going to take to get back there is really difficult. So you have to be optimistic. You have a great front office. You have an MVP player. You have a bunch of guys back. You're pitching. You're getting some guys back from injury. So you feel really good about it. But there is also you had Game 7 at home from a fan standpoint. You'd have loved to have seen this series go and get a shot at Boston. But all in all, what a great ride that this team gave us.
If you were a player on the team, you've had the playoff runs like that, when you think of Game 2, 3-0 lead, that a 13-inning game where it was just one hit, do those things haunt you a little bit as a player?
You never forget the tough losses. They'll subside a little bit, but you never forget the tough losses stick with you because you never want to have missed opportunities. And if somebody comes out and just beats you, you tip your cap. It's the times when you feel like should have. Those are the ones that can sometimes get you.
Well, he always gets me on Tauschers Take with his insight and knowledge on all sports, including baseball. He is Packers Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.